Joining us is Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee. Congressman, let's begin with day 30. What are your expectations of where this is headed as we approach the longest shutdown in U.S. history, which was 35 days?
I have very low expectations, ma'am. The House, as I did, voted to keep the government open. We voted for SNAP funding. We voted for WIC, Women with Infant Children. SNAP, of course, is food stamps. And now, of course, it's in the Senate. And the Senate is the Senate Democrats are doing what the Senate Democrats do. Senator Schumer said, every day gets better for us. I'm not really sure who it's getting better for. It's sure as heck isn't getting better for women with infant children or over 40 million people. I don't think people understand the depth of 40 million people. The state of Tennessee just has 8 million people in it. So we're talking about 5 times the volume, the numbers, over 5 times the volume of the state of Tennessee of people that could potentially go hungry. I'm more worried about the children, and that is, everybody wants to rail on the fraud and abuse in there, and there is plenty, I'm sure. But the children are the one that are going to suffer, and it's clearly in the hands of the Democrats. We've got 50 votes we have 53 votes in the Senate, and you need 60 for a bill of this complexity because of Senate rules. And so it's clearly in the lap of Chuck Schumer.
Well, the Democrats would respond, Congressman, to say, yeah, you need our votes, so you should be negotiating with us. And we are saying, in order to vote for a continuing resolution to keep the government funding, you need to negotiate with us on health care.
Well, this bill is not the apparatus to do that. In the past, the Democrats have voted 13 times to vote for a clean CR. And the only difference now is Donald Trump's in the White House, ma'am. This has nothing to do with health care. It has completely to do with control. Chuck Schumer hears footsteps in the background, and those footsteps are Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He knows he's got to appeal to that far left base, which is taking over New York, which they will probably elect a communist, anti-Semitic man in my opinion, as the mayor of New York, and he sees that as his base, and he doesn't have that base. Chuck Schumer is a liberal, but he's not a communist, and or a Marxist at that. And so he sees that base, and he sees his power slipping through his fingers, and he knows that, and he's got to appease that group, and he's doing a very poor job of it.
On food stamps, this Saturday, funding will run out for that program. 42 million Americans impacted. According to the Knoxville News Sentinel, over 55,000 people in your district rely on SNAP food benefits. Should the president fund these benefits, find a way to do it out of the White House rather than a piece of legislation to pass this?
Well, there is legislation. I always think legislatively is the best process. As you know, the Democrats fought the president when he found outside funding to fund our military, which is incredibly important, and they fought him on that. So I don't know what's different, ma'am. It's the same thing. All the Democrats have to do is come to the table and vote to open the government, just as I did, as they've done 13 times in the past. And now if you include the House and the Senate votes, they voted 13 times now to shut the government down. What's different now? Donald Trump's in the White House, and Chuck Schumer sees his power slipping through his fingers.
The Senate Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, yesterday did say that if the Republican leader in the Senate, John Thune, put on the floor a bill by Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican, that would fund SNAP benefits, he said himself and other Democrats would vote for it. So should that vote take place, and should the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, bring you all back to vote on that piece of legislation?
Yeah, well, that's totally up to the Speaker, man, but the bill's already there. All they have to do is vote to open the government. Even negotiating health care, President Trump said, if you open the government, I'll negotiate with you. That's already on the table. The only thing different, again, Donald Trump's in the White House and Chuck Schumer is losing control. And the Democrats don't have in the past, ma'am, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, the cluckheads over at The View, they would all just regurgitate whatever Schumer said. Now you have folks on the internet, these podcasters, the Benny Show. You just name it, on down the line. They know what's going on. They've read page 57 of Chuck Schumer's bill that provides health care for illegals. The game is up, and America knows it, and the major media knows it as well. And the Democrats are having diminishing returns. Everywhere I go in the state of Tennessee, people keep saying the same thing: stay the course, stay the course. All the Democrats have to do is vote yes. I voted yes to open the government. I voted to fund it. Every Democrat in the House except for one voted to take SNAP benefits and to take WIC benefits away. Every single one of them, and they can't run from that. The bill is already passed to negotiate, ma'am. Those days have gone. They need to come back to the table and vote yes in the Senate. They need to get some guts. They need to get out from behind Chuck Schumer's skirt and vote to open the government. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
Congressman, before we let you go, I want to talk about the Epstein files. You signed a discharge petition to force a vote on releasing the files.
Ma'am, I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you speak up, please?
Yes. Last question to you, Congressman, is about the Epstein files. What is your expectation when the House does come back on a vote to release the files?
I predict we'll vote to open it. That's what we'll do. We'll pass that bill, and we'll open the files. I think one thing we have to be careful about is when I asked in a closed door meeting of one of the ladies, she said she wanted to read the file, see what was in the files, so she knew what happened to her. She had blacked out during the whole thing. And so I said, so you want the files open? And she said, no, I do not. I don't want them open to the public. I don't want to see people see what they did to me. So there's several ladies there, and there's innocent people that probably traveled on that dirtbag Epstein's plane. Look, I don't care. I'd send them all to hell if it was my choice. I passed some of the toughest laws in Tennessee dealing with. I passed the death penalty. It was ruled unconstitutional at the time, and now it's been ruled constitutional. So I have no love for those people, but we have to protect the innocent. And I think that we will if we follow the proper procedure. But I'll vote to open the files, ma'am.
All right. Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.